During the summer of 2020, homeless outreach workers from Jules Helping Hands were introduced to a large encampment on a former pig farm in the community of Mead, north of Spokane, where 35 to 45 people were living in a makeshift homeless camp of tents and trailers. When the property sold in October of 2020, the new owners told the residents they would need to move on or be forcibly evicted. That news set in motion a series of events resulting in the creation of a temporary or pop-up warming center at City Church of Spokane.
So as we are roughly about halfway through our time with the warming center next door, I wanted to just take a few minutes tonight, share at least from my perspective, what I've seen, what I've experienced, as well as some of the other thoughts as we move a little bit. Well, we're brand new into 2021, and so as we move into 2021. So Caleb, as I think he mentioned last week or a couple of weeks ago, he's had his eye on this Madison building that's attached to us behind us here for about the last 6 years. It functioned as the hub for a property management company for, I believe, almost as long as we've been in this building, and we've been in here since 2009. And over the last half dozen years or so, Caleb and I have been over in that building multiple times for various reasons. And every time I walked in there, I always saw the same thing. I saw this very old, musty, unkept money pit. But Caleb, every time he went over, he would see opportunity. He even went as far as to call the owner to see what he would be willing to sell that building to us for. And all of this came to no avail, and it remained nothing more than a pipe dream. And so then fast forward to this past June, okay? Andrea and Samaya and I were on an RV trip. We're driving down the Oregon coast, and we're driving through Tillamook, Oregon. And Caleb calls me, and he says, guess what? The owner of the Madison building passed away last month, and we have the opportunity to buy this building for $125,000 outright. Should we do it? So now, mind you, my thoughts about this building have not changed over the 6 years that Caleb has been drooling over it. But so in my mind, I'm not sure I would have wanted it even if we did get it for free. But I'm on vacation. I'm in Tillamook. And you know what's in Tillamook? Ice cream. And we're on our way. When Caleb calls, we are on our way to the Tillamook factory. And I'm about to get me a whole lot of mint chip Tillamook ice cream. So Caleb's timing was impeccable, and I said, go for it. So over the course of the next month, we get the funding, and we purchase the building, we get the keys, and John and Caleb and Will Haley and Megan Gaia, who sit on our finance council, we go over there to check out our new digs. And for me, it's like walking in the door, and it's like instant anxiety, because this place it's not pretty. But fortunately, I'm surrounded by visionaries. And over the years, I have learned to trust their vision about what could be versus the here and now of what I can see. And so we pray over the building, and our prayers are all the same. We want this building to be a building of hope. And so just over 2 months ago, on November 14th, John Leland gets an email from an old acquaintance named Gina.
My name is Gina Swanson, and I'm the director at the New Hope Resource Center. New Hope is a social service organization. We serve North Spokane County. We provide things such as gas vouchers, rental assistance, utility assistance. We have a clothing bank on site. We are affiliated with the North County Food Pantry located in Elk. The main thing that motivated New Hope to get involved really was our one board member that really has a heart for homeless people. And she really made sure that this particular situation was at the forefront of the board and myself.
Gina writes to John, I realize that this is a long shot, but I'm reaching out to everyone that I can think of. There are 45 people who have been living in broken down cars and shanties. I don't even know what a shanty is, but they're living in shanties on a property in Mead. And the property owner passed away, and the property has since sold. And so these folks need a new place to live during the months of December and January until other organizations can facilitate a more permanent housing for them. New Hope, which is the nonprofit that Gina works for and was coordinating all of this, New Hope is collaborating with many other churches and agencies to address this situation. And once a location is found, Jules Helping Hands will provide beds and food and security, etc. We are in search of a space not next to a school roughly gymnasium size. Do you know of any possibilities?
So one evening I was just walking and praying about this situation because I just felt like there had to be someone else that could be contacted that might have a space for a warming center. And God just brought John Leland to mind. Well, I used to attend church with John. He's also a realtor who had just helped my in-laws who newly moved to the area close on a house. So I sent John an email on the weekend through his work address, and within 10 minutes he had called me and said, our church wants to do this.
And when that email came through, I knew immediately that the Lord was opening a door for us, and that I needed to share that news with the pastors here at City Church and mobilize around that need. We really didn't know what that would look like. We just knew we had to at least step in that direction.
And so within 15 minutes of receiving, because I checked the timestamps, within 15 minutes of receiving this email, John forwards it on to Caleb and me, and he says, what are your thoughts on opening the Madison building for this need? And Caleb almost immediately responds, yep, with like 3 explanation points. And so by the time I look at John's message and then I ask, well, can we have a meeting on Tuesday? Can we talk about this then? John says, nope, too late. And I said, well, then just untoo late it. He did not. So originally I was against opening up the Madison building as a warming center. Because for me, from an administrative and liability and overall just resident pessimist standpoint, it made me very nervous. But nevertheless, we prayed on it. We had more meetings. We discussed it with our insurance agent, and we proceeded to move forward with it. And we began to get excited. We began to get very excited. Could this be, we thought, could this be the big hope-filled opportunity that we've been asking for this building? And so unfortunately, in our excitement, we forgot to tell our neighbors. And so then the phone calls and the emails and the text messages begin to come in. And let me tell you, they were not nice phone calls and they were not nice emails and text messages. And so as the criticism began to build against us, I found myself becoming more and more concerned about our reputation as a church than I was concerned about actually carrying out the gospel. And at one point, amidst the growing pushback from some of those in our community, I even asked Caleb, what if this whole thing blows up in our face? And immediately Caleb says, I don't care. Because Caleb, as he should have been, as we all should be, Caleb was more focused on walking out the gospel. So I've been a vocal, upfront advocate about this warming center from the beginning, but in all reality, it is because of the perseverance of both Caleb and John that this thing actually came to fruition. Kim Leland said that she believes this warming center is going to benefit our church just as much, if not more, than the guests that it is currently housing, and I agree. Because for me personally, hosting this warming center, it has opened up my eyes to see what a giant hole we have in our gospel, as some of the greatest criticisms that have come against us have come from, guess who? Other Christians. And the comments of how dare we bring something like this into our neighborhood. Well, now I've only read the entire Bible maybe a couple dozen times, but I'm pretty sure nevertheless that God has a lot to say about how it is that we are to care for people. And so forgive my confusion here, but if not this, then what the hell is the church for, right? What is the purpose of the church? Our goal cannot be to just meet on Sundays, hang out for a bit, sing some songs, listen to someone give a message, hang out for a little bit longer and then go home with the same rinse and repeat attitude of doing it all again the next Sunday without any change, life change happening in between. But yet it seems like many churches in America do just this very thing. We, church, cannot.